So I used to be a reality show producer until recently. There was a certain thrill out of taking an ordinary life and making it into something worth watching. I enjoy taking on these challenges. It's what I miss the most. It's 12 o'clock and I'm at Johnny's apartment, and he is walking out to his car, and I'm waiting here for a while now. He hasn't done anything until this moment, and it looks like he's going back inside. The key to creating an interesting reality show is finding compelling characters. Johnny is back outside again. It's 12:20, and I think he's changed his shirt. He has his keys this time, but it looks like he's not going to go inside. It seems like anyone can get their own show, but only a few are worth watching. I could never sit through a boring show where nothing ever happens. 12:30. Johnny is having coffee. And he's sitting in the kitchen, not doing anything. So far, he has spent his day doing absolutely nothing. Of course, I can't afford to be picky. I don't have many options anymore. So I really have no choice but to take a job filming the life of an ordinary person. I certainly need the money, and I know the money is a primary reason to make these shows. I just hope this Johnny is worth watching.
What's with the cameras?
That's what I'm here to talk to you about. Now, this may sound a little odd, and I ask that you keep an open mind. You probably will want to shut me out and not even consider my offer, but just listen to what I have to say. I promise you it'll be worth your while.
You want to film my life? Seriously? I was joking.
Yeah, I know. It sounds funny. I don't even get it. But please, just hear me out. I was offered an opportunity to create a documentary, and the employer asked that the subject be you. Now, this person was willing to pay a lot of money, and while I don't understand it, I really need this job. And from what I know and from what I've learned of you, you need this money as well.
From what you've learned of me?
Yeah, I did a background check on you. No, wait! Just listen for a moment. Did you really expect me to take a job without first doing some research? Of course you didn't.
This is an invasion of my privacy.
You don't have a job. You need the money. I'll tell you what. All you have to do is act normal. Go about your business. Don't even worry about the cameras. And you will receive the money that you so desperately need. I'll tell you what. You think about it. I'll get back to you. But it's not like I'm putting your life in danger or anything.
I'll sign.
Good. That's great. Then I'll have a crew come in and set up cameras at your apartment. I have your number, so I'll contact you when I need. And in the meantime, I'll be in my office viewing and editing the footage. Oh, I think this will be a wonderful partnership. Thank you for giving me your life, and I hope this will be a very interesting show.
Oh, it will be. Hello? I'm not too sure who I'm talking to or who's gonna watch this, but this is the first official day of recording. Not too much planned for today, just breakfast. For my morning routine, I usually pour myself some cereal. When I was a kid, I used to eat cereal every day and I kind of got sick of it. But now I've been getting back into it. I like it. It reminds me of being a little kid again, being easily entertained by the silly pictures on the box. I like to mix cereals and have the different tastes. Hi.
I was wondering if I could please use your basement key.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, I got some laundry I need to do.
Oh, no problem.
Thanks a bunch, actually.
Oh.
I need to find my key.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Oh no, thanks. You're welcome. That was my neighbor. She needed the basement key to get into the basement. She's pretty nice. A lot of people say that she looks a lot like me, but I don't know, I don't see it. I've never seen her before until I moved here.
So this Johnny has gotten on my last nerve. I've been watching him for a week now, and nothing of interest has happened. It feels like he's deliberately trying to torment me, because no one could possibly be this boring. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do. This is who I was paid to film. Well, there is something I can do. I called my employer the next day, seeking some form of explanation for why I was hired to film such an uninteresting life. My employer speaks through different persons, who I assume work for this mysterious individual. I am told not to worry about it, and given a name of someone who can help resolve this situation. But another thing was bothering me about the footage from Johnny's apartment. A person I hadn't expected to see. It was the woman, this neighbor that appeared at Johnny's door. She is an enigma, an unknown. She seems nice enough, a friendly personality, but I can't help but wonder what she'll bring to the show. So who are you and why do I not know of you?
Excuse me? Why are you asking me?
I'm the producer of the reality show that your neighbor is a part of. He signed a contract that essentially gave me every aspect of his life. And yet, I don't know of you.
I see, so you're the one responsible for all these cameras in my apartment. I can thank you for invading my privacy.
Who are you? And what is your relationship with Johnny? What do I need to know?
I'm just a neighbor.
I don't know what else to say. This woman seems innocent enough, but I've learned in my business not to trust anyone. No one is as they seem, and yet Johnny has shown no signs of what makes a star, and I have the experience to know when something has to be done.
So I hear you're a man who can get stuff done.
That's what they say.
Is it true?
I have my means.
So, why do they call you the hitman?
That's not important. All you need to know is I'm the one to call when you have a problem that needs to be resolved. I take things that are boring and I make them interesting. In other words, I'm the one who creates the hits.
I understand. You see, I have this problem. His name is Johnny. I've been hired to film his life, but he hasn't done anything that justifies his show.
And you need me to make it worth watching.
I was told you're the one to talk to.
It's no problem. I know what to do.
What do you plan on doing?
Trust me, I have my ways.
I watched him leave with a sense of relief, masking the concern arising from the question still unanswered. Who is the hitman, and how does he plan to make things interesting? Still, I have no choice but to trust him. He's my last hope. I need to have one last meeting with Johnny. He deserves to know that his life is about to change.
This isn't working out, Johnny.
Are you breaking up with me?
No. Be serious. This is about the show. It's boring.
Boring? You come to me with a deal to film my life and set up cameras, tell me to act normal. And now you're calling it boring?
Yeah.
Is this some kind of joke?
No, I'm not joking. You signed a contract agreeing to give me your life, and as such, I have complete control. So, I have no choice but to do something.
Do something.
Oh, you know what? You'll find out soon enough.
I don't know how it's going to happen, but I know one thing. This show won't be boring anymore. Soon enough, there will be a knock on Johnny's door that changes everything.
Boring? He thinks I'm boring? What does he know? I have plenty of interesting things going on. Who couldn't be captivated by my emotional stories of cereal? I mean, there's so many different kinds. I like Choco Crunch and Rice Puffs, Fruit O's. Who doesn't love those? How could this other man be that much more interesting? He arrived at the door early this morning. He seemed like an alright guy.
Hey, buddy.
Hello.
Hi, I'm your new neighbor, Chris.
Yeah, I know, I was warned. Yeah, warned.
Anyway, I just moved in next door. Heard a lot about you, Johnny.
He acts pleasant enough and was very friendly. Really? What did you hear?
Just your reputation. I mean, you made a solid impression around here. It doesn't help that you let the cameras in the building.
I hate him already.
Your old neighbor had nothing but positive things to say.
Where is she?
Well, she found a better place to live.
Really? I didn't know that.
I guess she didn't tell you.
We talk all the time. I feel like it would have came up.
Yeah, strange.
Do you even know her name?
No, I didn't catch it.
You didn't think to ask?
No, I didn't ask. Anyway, it was a pleasure meeting you, Johnny. We seen you around?
Yeah, I guess so.
I enjoyed our conversation. I look forward to having more with you. Goodbye.
Goodbye. So I don't get it. What makes this man so much more fascinating than me? I mean, why is he considered so interesting?
Hey, Emma! How you doing? You know, I feel really guilty about this. I'm really sorry. It's so mean, right? Yeah, but I got you some stuff. I have you some, like a pillow for your head. I'm just gonna, we'll figure out a way to get it in there. And then a blanket, because it's kind of cold and wet down here, and, you know, I want you to be as comfortable as possible. And then I got some food and water for you. It's all I could steal. Just sort of, yeah, help me out there. Thanks, yeah. You'll figure that out. I'm sorry, I can't understand you right now. I'd love to talk, but I really can't. I gotta go. Right, so just remember, breathe through your nose. Don't want you dying on me now. At least not yet. But seriously, don't die. I hope this stuff makes your captivity a little bit more enjoyable. Right, so thank you for not screaming. I'll see you later.
I think you've taken this too far, Chris.
I didn't realize you were the one that gets to determine the line.
When I hired you, I didn't expect you to tie up the neighbor and keep her in the basement.
No, you hired me to get a job done, and this is what I do. I determine when I've crossed the line. I'm the professional.
But why the neighbor? What does she have to do with this?
I know what I'm doing. I don't have to explain myself.
So, Johnny was boring, and I hired Chris to make this show more interesting. And Chris tied up the neighbor. I think I've made a huge mistake.
I don't know what I did to deserve this. I guess Josh's plan to ruin my life, or make it more interesting, is to hire the friendliest man alive and have him torture me with his insistent pleasantry. I'm scared to leave my room in fear of encountering Chris's greeting. He won't leave me alone. I think I hear him now. I've got to hide.
Hey, buddy.
So, despite Chris insisting that I do so, I really don't trust him. He claims to work in the industry, but I have connections to verify whether this is true. I call one of my former colleagues, someone who knows where to find information, and he agrees to ask around. It's because I don't trust Chris that I decided to set up my own camera, the one that is hidden and that only I would know about. I wanted to help Emma there, but part of me still wanted to believe Chris. I almost walked away, but then I noticed the door. As I bumped into it, I noticed that it wasn't locked. Emma, come on. Are you right?
Listen to me, there's something I can't tell you, but you need to see this note. Here, check my pocket.
What is it?
Just read it.
I think I hear someone coming. I'm so sorry, Emma.
No matter what, you'll hear from me again. Do you know what is real and what's a show?
I didn't realize torture was in the contract.
I'm so sorry, but you gave me your life.
You're right.
It's not real?
I asked around, no one's heard of a hitman or Chris Eastman. There's no file on a man who creates the hits. I fear you might have a problem on your hands.
I think my show's in danger. I barely slept that night. Images from the last month flooded my mind, overwhelming me with questions and regrets. My world is falling apart again, and I don't have control anymore. I don't know what to believe or who to trust. I'm losing my mind. It was the note and Emma's question that haunted me the most. What is reality? In my business, it's so easy to blur the line between what is real and what is fiction. So much of this reality we bring to the television screen is exaggerated for ratings, manufactured to draw an audience. What is real? What is the show? Have I become the victim of the reality show machine that I myself had perpetuated? Have I stepped into a reality show, losing all sense of what is real in my life? Nightmares have reemerged, creeping into my waking life. This feels too familiar. Something I experienced before. The skeleton in my closet, the one that forced me out of the reality show business, is making a reappearance. I fear I have taken things too far again, all in the name of drama. My insistence on interesting and my distaste for boring. It ruined me before, and here it is again, haunting me in the form of Jonny Nasi, Chris Eastman, and this neighbor. I let my obsession destroy lives before, and the damage it did to my relationship with my brother is the hardest. Now is when I need him the most. Jesse, I really need to talk to you right now. I know it's hard to forgive me for what I've done, but you need to know that I regret it every day. I just really need you right now. Please, call me back.
Where is Emma?
So, who are you and why do I not know of you?
I see, so you're the one responsible for all these cameras in my apartment. I can thank you for invading my privacy.
Who are you? And what is your relationship with Jonny? What do I need to know?
I'm just a neighbor.
You hired me to get a job done, and this is what I do. I determine when I've crossed the line. I'm the professional.
I asked around, no one's heard of a hitman or Chris Eastman. There's no foul of a man who creates the hits.
No matter what, you'll hear from me again. Do you know what is real and what's a show?
Chris! Get out here! Chris, I need to talk to you now! Where are you?
There's no one there.
Jonny, where is he? Where's Chris? What did you do?
You pushed me too far.
Jonny, what have you done? Jesse, I really need to talk to you right now. I know it's hard to forgive me for what I've done, but...
Hello?
We got him.
Chris! Chris, get out here! Chris! Where are you? Come on, Chris. Chris, I need to talk to you now! Where are you? Chris!
Hey, buddy.
Hello.
You know, I tried to be a nice guy. I really did. Didn't do anything to harm you or scare you. Just wanted to be a good friend. I thought, you know, if we could have some quality time together and bond, we could be best friends.
Chris.
Let me finish. I took every opportunity to be nice, you know. Was always a good neighbor, always there to offer a smile. But the more that I tried to be nice, the more you kept pushing and pushing me away.
You harassed me.
I just wanted to talk to you. But you wanted nothing to do with me. You know how that makes me feel? Do you know how much I hate rejection?
I'm sorry. I really am. I didn't mean to hurt you.
Too little too late, Jonny. You're gonna die.
You're gonna kill me?
Yep.
I don't think so.
What?
Here's how I see our little situation. You are unwanted. You were brought in because I was too boring and insisted on provoking me to make it interesting. I didn't want to be your friend, and your little speech about how heartbroken you are, complete fabrication. It's a lie for the drama, and I don't think you'll do it.
No, I would do it. I'm going to kill you.
Sure you are.
You don't think I'm gonna do it?
Go ahead. I dare you. There's no one there.
Johnny, where is he? Where's Chris? What did you do?
You pushed me too far.
Johnny, what have you done?
I killed Chris. Big deal. He was driving me nuts. And who throws a knife at a man's back? That is dirty. I took care of his body. Josh is freaking out. He says we need to go on the run. He acts like he's never seen a dead body before. What a baby. So I'm in the car with Josh right now, and we're on the run.
So you're gonna be filming this now, okay?
Yeah.
So now this is our show. This is our show. We're on the run, and now you've decided to get into it.
I think this is great. It's getting some action shots.
Action shots. You want some action shots? I'll give you some action shots.
Oh,
I don't think you'd like it.
I know about action shots.
Yeah, yes. Like your great catching the knife thing, like that could actually happen. I bet you it was Chris's idea, wasn't it? Before you killed him?
You don't think I could do that?
He throws a freaking steak knife at you, and you're snapping his neck. That's just fabulous. I think that's the way to go. I'm very proud of you.
Are we there yet?
You're kidding me, right? First you kill someone, and now you're just mouthing off, and I just can't take this anymore. Oh,
whatever.
Are you gonna play it? Is that how you're gonna play this now?
Can we stop somewhere? I have got to pee.
You just passed a place like a couple of miles ago. You couldn't have gone then?
I didn't have to go.
Oh my gosh. You're doing this to me on purpose. I know it. You're just
I think we're being followed.
Now we're being followed. Oh, this is just fabulous. All right, Johnny, make it quick. But please, don't make a scene.
Don't worry. I won't kill anyone.
Funny, Johnny. It's really funny. Be back as soon as you can. I can't believe this is happening. Ugh. I mean, I thought this would be just a normal, ordinary job. Nothing too challenging. Now, it's completely out of my control. What do I do? Wait. What's this? Don't know why, but this old colleague of mine that I contacted recently keeps calling me. He's not answering. Okay, you know what? I need to go talk to an employer. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Josh is on the phone. Who's this?
Are you Josh from the show Reality? Oh my gosh! I totally love you. Will you please sign my hand? Johnny! Oh my gosh, it's Johnny! Johnny! Such a big fan of you! Oh my goodness!
I'm really sorry. We cannot be taking fan comments right now. You gotta go. Please. I don't know who you are. But
I need you to sign my name.
What was all that about? You know that guy who's been following us?
Yeah?
I think he's parked out right back.
That's it. Can't take this anymore. Why are you following me? What do you know?
I'm just a fan. What? People love Johnny. He has a huge fan base. Now, smile.
I'm a star. I'm so excited. I've got fans. Do you believe that, Josh? I'm a star.
Oh, that fight scene, man. Oh man, when he cracked that dude's neck. Oh man. And then he came around. Oh, he caught that knife. He was like, and he was like, ah.
The knife throwing and all the choreography of the killing and everything, that was so corny and so horribly planned. Like, this reality show is so unrealistic. It's unbelievable.
Welcome to the reality show. It's a not very clever name, but we are not very clever people.
Speak for yourself.
I'm Paul T Cain.
And I'm Rebecca Steinbrinck. As always, we are going to start by reviewing what has happened on the latest episode of Reality.
Josh and Johnny are on the run, and Johnny has been taking over filming of the show. He seems undisturbed by the situation. However, Josh is in a frenzy. You can say I got up close and personal with the producer of the show.
He threw you against the car.
Yeah, but I prefer not to say it that way.
He physically abused you.
Shut up! Let's move to our fan questions. Rebecca?
We gathered up questions from you, the fans, and Paul tried to get answers from the men themselves like any good so-called journalist would do. Here's a question from one fan who asks, why aren't they still broadcasting episodes while they are on the run?
My employer contracted me to film no matter what, but I do not have to answer questions from you.
Wow, harsh.
And I thought my boss was bad.
You're self-employed.
I know.
Next question from username IHeartJohnny. I really love Johnny. Do you know if he has any girl in his life?
Alright, well anyway, the question is there anyone special in your love interest at the moment?
Well, there was someone.
The answer was far more serious than I expected.
But they're dead now. I'll never forget who was responsible.
Hey, what are you doing?
Wow, way to open up old wounds with an innocent question.
I blame I Heart Johnny.
Speaking of old wounds, I decided to pick up some scabs myself. Many of you have asked the question, what happened that got Josh kicked out of the reality show business? The biggest question seems to come in response to the Boiling Point episode. Apparently, the answer is not very difficult to find. It is actually quite public, but also very personal. I found this interview from Before Reality of Josh describing the circumstances.
It was an accident. I won't apologize for doing my job. I am a reality show producer, and part of my job is to make life more exciting and interesting. This woman was a contestant on my show. I did my job, and circumstances beyond my control resulted in her death.
This woman was very close to the family. She was the girlfriend of Josh's brother, Jesse. The accident drove a wedge into their relationship, and Jesse has struggled to forgive his brother. I tried talking to Jesse about the matter.
So, Josh is dealing with another death on his show? Good. He deserves it.
So yeah, the wounds are still quite sore.
Way to bring down the show.
Sorry. Well then, that's it for the reality show. Thanks for watching. Wait a minute, I guess someone's here. Johnny!
How did you manage to escape?
Well, that's what I'm here to talk to you about. I have this clip explaining the situation, and I wanted you to debut it.
Oh.
Well, I'm glad you took my invitation to visit our show, and thanks for the clip. And now, without further ado, let's watch a scene from reality.
That's it. I've had enough.
Excuse me?
You're ruining my life.
I'm ruining your life? You killed a man.
I had a legitimate reason. I'm fine. You're the one who's panicking.
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess it's my fault for thinking that murder is against the law.
I don't have to put up with this.
Is this about the fans? This fame has gone completely to your head, Johnny. You think you're so big, but the law will catch up with you.
You're just jealous.
Ah, jealous?
Yeah, you want to be a star.
You're not thinking clearly. Your arrogance has completely taken control. That's why I tried to stop Paul from inflating your ego.
Maybe you're just trying to keep me in my place.
Yes, that's it. You think I want to have to deal with this? To be an accomplice to your crime?
I'm sorry, but this isn't working out.
What are you saying? Are you breaking up with me?
I'm done with you. I've had enough of this nonsense.
You can't leave. We have a contract.
Screw the contract. I killed a man. Do you think I care about the law?
Wait! Don't go. The show is all I have.
I'm sorry. I've had enough. Goodbye.
Breaking news. Josh and Johnny have broken up. You are tearing me apart.
Johnny?
So here I was, tied up in Johnny's basement, with memories of the last week replaying in my mind. I saw myself at the park after Johnny went his separate way, left alone with my thoughts. I remembered Derrick and his insistent calls, and the troubling meeting we had on a rainy night. I recalled the note on a hand, and the disappointment of meeting Paul instead, followed by my talk with my lawyer. I could still feel the weight of the gun Paul gave me, but I'm getting ahead of myself. You probably want to know how I got here. Well, it certainly wasn't boring.
What have you got me into?
Derrick was an old colleague of mine who I asked to investigate Chris Eastman. He insisted we meet here, at this bus stop.
Derrick, what are you doing? Why are you calling me?
When you told me to look into Chris Eastman, you didn't warn me about the attention it might draw.
What are you talking about?
They've been following me. They tapped my phones. They stripped me of all my resources. They took everything.
Calm down. What's going on?
They know about Johnny.
What?
They say he has a criminal past. He's dangerous. I mean, what do you know about him?
I didn't have an answer. but I knew where I hoped to find one. Maybe I would learn more about Johnny at Cain Park.
Josh, I need to talk to you.
Paul T Cain. Suffice to say, I'm not happy to see him.
We've been through this before, Paul. Can't do this anymore. I'm tired of playing this game.
It's about Johnny.
Yeah, I know. He's awesome. You're a huge fan.
Yeah, I know, but where is Johnny?
You know perfectly well that we parted ways. You broke the news on your show.
So, you watch my podcasts?
Yeah, I saw it once. Very clever, by the way, using your co-host's hands to draw me into this little trap. Thanks a lot for invading my privacy.
We're both in the same business. Don't be a hypocrite.
Yeah, well, neither one of us has shows anymore. I'm done. We could both go on to our pathetic lives.
The show's not real.
What are you talking about?
The show is just a means of following around Johnny.
Okay, now, that's just creepy.
You wouldn't say that if you knew why.
Then tell me.
Johnny's a dangerous man.
Yeah, I know. He killed Chris.
That's not it.
What?
There's more. That's why I need your help.
I didn't know what to do. I could only stare at the gun in my hand, contemplating my next move. There was only one place I could turn.
Alright, if you want my advice, here it is.
Nick Robotka, mobile lawyer. He's always on the move, slightly psychotic, and the only lawyer willing to take my case.
Forget about the contract. From what you told me, the state of your show is the least of things that you should be concerned about right now. Sometimes you just need to know when to walk away, even if it's kind of hard to do. More importantly though, you should have consulted me before this whole show began. You offered me too many unknowns for comfort, and I would never approve a deal with a faceless employer. Did you do the background check already?
No. The employer did it.
That's a major mistake. You can't trust this unknown entity. Always do your own background checks. What's wrong with you, dude? Come on. You should have talked with me. After learning more about this Johnny person through your testimony, I have no doubt that the information is incomplete.
What do I do now?
In all honesty, I would set up a meeting with the employer face to face. More importantly, I would advise you not to be passive this time. This isn't like the last case, which was an accident. You have to take action. My advice to you, do what is necessary. Do not take the coward's way out.
I don't quite remember what happened next. It's kind of a blur. I remember going down to meet the employer and being hit in the back of the head with a mug. I saw a glimpse of familiarity, and then it all went to black.
Johnny, what's going on? What are you doing here? Johnny, please, talk to me. Say something.
Hey Josh, how you doing? You know, I feel pretty guilty about this. I'm really sorry. It's so mean, right?
You know how they say that your life flashes before your eyes the moment before your death? I had an experience similar to that. As I heard Emma recite Chris's lines and watched my brother untie the star of my show, a realization hit me. This was not my show. I was the victim. Johnny was the one in control.
So, what do you think, Josh? You're the expert. Did you like the show I put on for you? I tried to make it interesting. I found an actor who would work for cheap, and he wouldn't be missed when I snapped his neck. I even got your brother involved. Isn't that right, Jesse?
Hello.
Hi, Jesse.
So you must be the infamous Jonny Nasi. I've heard a lot about you.
All good things, I hope. Though I'm not sure what Emma's been saying about me.
She was a good friend. You're really appreciative of the time they shared.
I'm sorry to bring up old wounds. Is now a good time to talk?
It's fine. Let's go downstairs. So I hear you have a plan to humble my brother.
Yeah, it's more of a long con. I want Josh to experience a level of regret that may not match your pain, but at least make him experience a level of empathy for what you went through. He deserves to pay for his actions.
And you plan on showing him how?
I'll make him suffer a little bit. He's obsessed with interesting, so I'll give him that. Then I'll push it even farther. I'll make him long for boring. I know about the lawsuit. The settlement for the death. You could use that money to teach Josh a lesson.
And why you?
Believe it or not, I cared for her. And she was a good friend to Emma. Josh deserves this. This will work.
Okay. I'll do it.
Jesse, please let me out of here. I know I've hurt you in the past, but you're my brother. I love you. I'm sorry.
Would you shut up? Emma, gag Josh, please. I'm sick of hearing him. Come on, Josh. You're a reality show producer. You should have figured this out. It should have been no surprise that Jesse was in on the scheme. He did it to force you to feel the fault in your ways. You should have known that he was the employer. You should have recognized that Emma is my sister. I mean, how could you miss the resemblance? I know it sounds creepy, but we had a connection.
Johnny, you didn't even talk to her. You just stared. You made her feel uncomfortable.
I was going to. It just takes me longer. You know I have trouble talking to girls.
Yeah, and I tried to help you. I became her friend and learned about her for your benefit. She wasn't interested.
I know you might not believe me, but I loved her, and Josh deserves to suffer for his part in her death.
But this isn't the first time someone that you have loved has died after meeting you.
This is different. I really felt I had a chance, and it was taken away from me. She was your friend too. Why not help?
You know I love you. You're my brother. And I really cared for Cera too. So I'll participate in your little scheme. But I can't keep doing this. This is crazy.
Believe me, he deserves it. I'm sorry. I can't understand you. Let me take off that bandana.
Why are you doing this to me? What did I do to you? She was Jesse's girlfriend and Emma's friend, but what does she mean to you?
I cared for her. More than you realize. More than you'll ever know. I met her in a coffee shop. I was instantly attracted to her. I simply couldn't take my eyes off her. I will never forget the first words she said to me.
Stop looking at me!
It was love at first sight. It was then I decided I could never stop looking at her. And I did every chance I could.
So this is all about some woman you stalked?
Would you let me finish? I was going to talk to her. Then he came along. Your brother. I was heartbroken. If I couldn't have her, no one could. I decided I was going to take action. And you killed her before I got the chance. I hated that he could be with her and I couldn't. Which reminds me.
No!
There's no use for him anymore.
I don't know what to say. You're a monster.
Yeah. Well, I took down all the cameras you set up, and as far as anyone's concerned, you killed Jesse. He ruined your life. And now your fingerprints are on his murder weapon. You got two choices. Either be arrested for murder, or kill yourself. If If I was you, I'd choose the latter.
You probably think I'm naive to fall for Johnny's scheme, and you would be right. But the show was not over for me, despite what Johnny believed. There was still more that needed to be shown.
Hi, Johnny. How you doing? A little piece of advice from an expert. If you're going to produce a show, make sure your actors are following the same script. You don't want to lose control of your own production. Which reminds me, Jesse?
Hi, Johnny.
Yeah. Jesse's not too happy about you wanting to kill his girlfriend or the being shot thing. Don't worry. Gun's loaded with blanks. You look confused. Here's the thing. I know a little bit more about this business than you. I know about your little plan, and it was okay, but it had a few holes in it, meaning that your actors were giving it all away. Jesse told me all about your little scheme.
But Jesse hates you. He wanted you to pay for what you did.
I forgave him. I heard the voicemail that he left. He sounded genuinely repentant. I didn't want to have to put him through your crazy plan.
Very smart, by the way, using prepaid phones for the employer and having different actors fill the role. Unfortunately for you, Jesse answered the phone at the gas station and told me everything. But you see, that's not all. Your fans were actually government agents, and they had a different interest in you. They requested my help in stopping you, because apparently you are quite wanted. They gave me the gun and told me to use it as a catalyst to reveal your true nature.
But you have nothing. I removed all the cameras.
All the ones you know about? I had another one secretly installed when I became suspicious. You'll love who got the footage.
This season, we have new breaking footage from the producer himself. Check out this exclusive clip as he exposes the real Johnny.
No! So you can expect a visit from the feds pretty soon. They've been trying to break through your facade for a long time, and your little show revealed how dangerous you actually are. None of this would have been possible without the contributions of your sister, so you can thank her. She'll explain the whole thing. Gotta be going now. The feds are probably on their way. You can either be arrested or kill yourself. I really don't care.
Emma, how could you do this to me? I'm your brother.
You used me, Johnny, to trap your victims. I helped you in your evil plots without even knowing it. What kind of brother does that? As far as I'm concerned, I never want to see your face again. I don't believe you.
I don't blame you.
It's hard to accept.
But you're saying my brother is a murderer? Some kind of serial killer?
Yes, he's been getting away with it because he doesn't look the part. But you have to admit, he shows the signs. I mean, after all the girls you helped him meet.
He's shy, that's all.
They all ended up dead.
Certainly you don't consider that a coincidence. We call him the serial killer, as in breakfast cereal.
He poisons the cereal of the women that you draw into the trap.
He's sick.
He has to be stopped. You are our best chance.
He's smart, but he's bound to slip. He trusts you, so you can take advantage of his inevitable mistake.
I'll do what I can.
So, things are finally starting to turn around for me. I've been receiving calls from executives who are willing to offer me jobs. It's just no problem. all want Johnny. Apparently, Johnny's the real draw, and without him, I don't have a show. I don't know how to make this work. The life of my career is dependent on his involvement.